Hi, I'm Tyrrell of Uncommon Knowledge, and this is the video version of my article on the ancient art of letting go. Why perhaps we can have more by holding on to less. Now, what I'm about to say is an approximation of my article, so it won't be exactly the same. Now, I love some of Bob Dylan's lyrics and was always struck by this one from It's All Over Now, Baby Blue, which goes, well, you must leave now, take what you need, you think will last. And of course, nothing will last. Recently, I was struck by a wave of sentimentality about my past, and I decided to revisit my old school. Now, to the casual observer, it had just been an edifice of concrete, a place that J.G. Ballard might have written about. But to me, it represented a place of boyhood dreams and aspirations, vivid fears, but exuberant hopes, and the wonder of young life. By revisiting it, I hope to unlock the mysterious door of time back to my boyhood. As I drove towards the school, now knee-deep in middle age, I imagined how I'd relive those years of scraped knees and boundless energy, chasing soccer balls, giggling in the corridors, getting into fights, the sadistic, and there were plenty of those, and also the kind teachers. I'd hear the echo of long-lost friends as I immersed myself in the bittersweet years of awakening adolescence. But when I arrived, I was shocked to discover that in just a blink of an eye, 40 years, my school had vanished. There was no trace of it at all. Now in its place stood the standard urban sprawl of modern housing. And of course, of that too, one day, there will be no trace. What once had seemed forever had now gone forever. And it brought home to me in a trivial but powerful way how everything one day will be no more. We're in a process of letting go from womb to tomb. We all have to leave things behind. We all started life in the warm safety of the womb, but once we emerged into the chaos of the world, we could never go back. We go to school, but have to move on. We meet friends, then lose touch. We lose or grow out of a favorite toy or favorite item of clothing. Loved ones die, and we have to say goodbye. Life, from womb to tomb, seems to be a continual process of having to grab fast what we think will last, but then seeing it doesn't in a kind of slow, long goodbye that becomes more obvious as we get older. And as we age, we may have to let go of our energy, our health, our looks, lovers, friends, dreams, and often physical autonomy in the end. The way of life in society changes, times change, change is the one changeless aspect of reality. The person staring back at us from the mirror alters sometimes beyond all recognition. There's no shame in change. And then along comes the greatest change of all. Ultimately, we have to let go of ourselves, at least in physical form, when we die. The world we've inhabited slips from our persistent grasp. We become no more, though, of course, some believe that birth itself is a death from a previous life, that death in this life is simply a doorway to another form of existence, the likes of which we can't really yet imagine. They believe that the soul is constant, eternal, outside of time and space, even as the forms of the world inevitably rise and fall like will-o'-the-wisps. That the world is, in fact, a fashioning instrument for the soul, which somehow needs the experiences of this earthly plane. That a life well lived can somehow enhance the quality of the soul in some mysterious way for its onward journey beyond the world. And of course, Orthodox religions preach of the permanence of the soul when all else perishes, paradoxically embracing impermanence, or at least accepting it with equanimity, may be one route to genuine happiness. Buddhists embrace, or try to, the impermanence of life. They believe it is by letting go that we gain. Appreciating that life, that the things of the world, including life itself, are brief, we can gain wisdom, gratitude, and a sense of our place in the grander scheme of reality. And permanence is itself an illusion, because from our worm's eye view of the world, things age slowly and imperceptibly for significant periods of what we call time. But just imagine if you could see the flow of time sped up. You'd witness mountains, societies, and all living beings rise and fall like the fluid ebb and flow of waves on the sea, or bubbles on a lava flow. A mountain would rise and fall just like a wave at sea. Human societies would develop in a flash, stay for a moment, and recede back into nothing in a second. Everything flows. It's only our perspective that makes things seem permanent. So what might be the emotional and psychological benefits of accepting the passing away of earthly things and beings? And what if we feel we simply can't let go? Well, I think that acceptance of inevitable changes should never mean giving up or not fighting for what you believe in. We age, yes, but we can fight it by keeping as fit and healthy as we can. Personal efforts can sometimes stop the rot or reverse situations, even reinstate older and better ways of going about things. So it's not that change always lessens something. Pure acceptance is pure passivity, contained in the serenity prayer. God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. However, failure to adapt when circumstances change can damage our mental and physical health. Witness, for example, the rejected stalker who can't accept the end of a relationship, or the ex-employee who just can't come to terms with their job loss. The rejected lover can, in time, form a new relationship, just not that relationship. The now redundant worker can hopefully, in time, find a new job, just not that old job. So there is gain only after accepting loss. Rigidity, failure to let go and adapt, can mean more than just constantly reminiscing about a perfect past. Depression can certainly be fueled by constant ruminative regret over loss. Anxiety centers on fear of loss of something in the future. Jealousy also fears loss and enforced letting go of a loved one. Acceptance, on the other hand, can make us both resilient and flexible as we adapt to the inevitable changes of life and become less prone to these emotional conditions. Acceptance of change is widely recognized as beneficial for mental and physical health, and social health too. Those of us who can accept circumstances tend to be more resilient and adapt faster. And for therapy clients, acceptance is often the first stage of moving on from the past so that life can be lived more fully in the here and now. Denial prevents us from problem solving precisely because it's a failure to accept what is. We can't change anything until we see what needs to be changed. Paradoxically, accepting the impermanence of life may help us live longer. Desperately worrying about inevitable change causes the body to become stressed, and chronic stress isn't great for longevity. Change, in a sense, is life. We might think we want to live forever, but the value of life is in its impermanence. We love and live more poignantly because we understand that every person, tree, building, possession, everything there is, including the Earth and the Sun and the Milky Way galaxy, is here only for a blink of an eye as far as eternity is concerned. One day, this video will be 100, 1,000, 1,000,000, and 1,000,000,000 years old. Joy, happiness, achievement, and fulfillment can only exist when we appreciate that they have their counterparts and that nothing can be taken for granted. And in the words of the explorer, Sir Richard Francis Burton, what is, what was, what is done, but is it any the less full of fun? Thy life is long, though it were but a minute, but no less there's still a lifetime of joy within it.